Hello everyone, welcome back to the Anarchy Podcast. Today we're here with WowGain's, an old 2B2T player, and we're here with the co-host, DigMC. Hello everyone.
Hello.
Alright, so we can go to the first question. So WowGain's, when and how do you find 2B2T?
Actually, the way I stumbled onto it was I was a dumb teenager, and I was wanting to find a bunch of servers that I could just grief and shit. And I was looking up servers that didn't have any protections on them at all. And I found this video for 2B2T on YouTube it was just some guy that was walking around on a bunch of like hills and shit. So I just thought it was some really small, really stupid server that it'd be really easy to grief. Like, it didn't show anything of, like, what 2B2T actually looked like. Didn't show anything of spawn or anything. And fucking, as soon as I logged on, it was like, oh, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, we've all been there.
What year was that?
That was like, I want to say, it was either really late 2011 or really early 2012.
How did spawn look like back then compared to now?
It looked just as fucked, but there weren't like the giant like caves yet. There weren't those yet. People hadn't been able to build withers that just like dug out giant caverns underneath spawn. So, but besides that, you still had the giant lava casts that went everywhere, and it was just nothing but rock. But it didn't go out nearly as far.
If you go to spawn right now, it's basically a huge water cube in the middle, a bunch of lava cats and stuff like that. But back then it's like, it's just flat.
Yeah, it was pretty much just barren. With every now and then you'd run into a giant lava.
How long do you think it took you to escape spawn? Like, and did you find any like spawn farms, or did you just straight head out?
I think it took me like maybe like 2 or 3 tries of like a couple times I would trip and fall, starve to death. But I was able to just, like, about the third time, I just ended up walking really, really slow on my way out. I never ran into anybody that, like, killed me on my way out. So it just took me until I could, like, find an actual pathway I could walk slowly enough and still find some grass.
And was there any monuments near spawn at that time?
Nothing like, well, besides like besides the wheat, but like nothing else really jumps to mind that really made me go, whoa, that's pretty fucking cool besides the Valley of Wheat.
Did you ever went to the Valley of Wheat?
Yeah, it was with, it was a couple days in, I got a friend to join with, and we were running around together, just dipshitting around. It was probably about 10 minutes after we found this one. We had just found like the ruins of a base where it had a big ass stone brick wall going around it. And then we were like, could see the wheat coming into the fucking render distance. And it just looked like a little farm at first, but then, start seeing how fucking huge it is, and the sphinxes.
Yeah. What did you do at the Valley of Wheat? Did you meet Jang? Did you grief it? Or did you just take what you want and...
We just took some food, thought it was really cool. I think we might have left a sign somewhere in there, but then we just kept on.
And when you first joined, or in the first few years of you joining, did you ever join any 2B2T groups, or what was kind of your main encounter with other people?
For a good while I was on, I was kind of just a hermit player. I would make my own little bases and stuff and just keep moving on. But the people that I did end up basing with, and this was I want to say 2, maybe 3 or 4 years into me playing, I played with E to the G's bases. That there was Sato, he was based at them, and fucking there's a couple other people, but I'm really terrible with remembering names. I don't know why, but I remember a guy who had a Link skin, like from Legend of Zelda. But yeah, the E to the G bases that I really remember basing with there was this one, and it was just in the middle of a field somewhere, and everything was made out of black wool. And that one lasted for a little while until someone caught it. The base cords got leaked, and then everything got burnt to the ground. So he decided to make another base, and it was out in the middle of the ocean on just these big platforms made out of brick. And that one was a cool one for a little while too.
So with E to the G, how did you find him?
I think he just DM'd me asking if I was interested in doing a basing together. And after I sussed out that he wasn't just gonna try to fuck me over as soon as I walked to where he was, I decided to meet up with him. And there was a fucking really funny story about it with the first base was while I was trying to meet him there, I was moving through the Nether, and I ran short on the highway to his spot because he tried to make sure it was really distant from any other place where anybody had been doing any digging. So I had to dig for my own for a little while. And I had a shit ton of food on me, but I guess I overestimated how long my picks were going to last. So for the last probably 5,000 blocks of me tunneling out the Nether highway, I had to do it by hand.
Wow.
Yeah, that took a good fucking couple hours.
You said you were in a group of Sato 86?
Yeah, he was there for, he might have been there for just the grass ones. I couldn't remember if he was there for the water one, but that's how I ended up meeting him, was through that bit.
Did you have much contact with any of the other Valkyrians?
No, not really. My whole thing is I usually play games really sporadically. I'll play it for a lot when I'm really, really interested in it for a couple months, and then I'll just kind of hop off for a while, and who knows when I'm going to show up again. It's just whenever I feel the want to show up again. But during the Valkyrie bases and stuff, I wasn't around at all. I came back I'd taken a break, and then I came back after they had kind of come and gone.
Oh, so you came back in 2014?
It was, I've been active in 2012, a little bit of 2013. I was probably active really loosely in 2014 and 2015, but then I came back right at the start of all the shit with Russia. And I had been building a base on my own at that time. I tried to do this castle up in the mountains. And what always shocked me is every time it was there'd be times I'd be gone. I think there was one time I was actually pretty much gone for almost a year, and I came back online, and no one had found the base yet still. So that base ended up, my little solo base ended up surviving for probably 2 years before I came on one day, and I had to ask a friend to come on and bail me out because fucking it was filled with lava, and I had to log off right away because I had logged on and I started burning.
Feels bad. And what about in not just the older days, but have you had any contact with groups nowadays in mod?
Oh no, not really at all.
Do you play much nowadays?
I am it's real. The last time I got on was probably 2 or 3 years ago, back when I was still in high school.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna shell out any of the fucking cash for priority queue or anything. So after he canned the queue for old fags and shit, I was kind of turned off to really wanting to get back on again. When it's I have to wait for 3 or 4 hours, and now I hear it's you have to wait for 8 hours or more if you're just in the regular queue.
Yeah, priority queue right now is about 140 right now.
Yeah, many old fags have quit due to just long queue. It really sucks.
Yeah, it's just kind of pointless.
Have you been at any other bases on 2B2T?
Trying to think of notable ones. Not really. I did a base with a guy during the you guys remember the temp map when they were having to move the shit over?
Which one?
During the Russia shit, when the server got overloaded and we were on a temp map for a little while. I did a base with a guy back then, and that was pretty cool. It was while everybody was just fucking around, we made it our goal that we were going to be the first people to kill the Ender Dragon on that map, and it was just everybody else was fucking constantly slaughtering each other at spawn and shit, but we were only really a couple thousand blocks away, but we were able to just grind really hard and really fast, and we found the fucking stronghold, and we were able to take down the Ender Dragon before anyone else got to it.
Nice. Did you get the egg?
Yeah. I've got an Imgur album of all the screenshots of our...
oh, nice.
I'll probably put into the video.
Yeah, I mean, if you could give us any interesting screenshots that you'd like us to play throughout the video, that'll be...
Yeah. I really like to give you a bunch of my older ones, like from when I first went on, but they were push screenshots, and it was like I came back to my push account years later to try to look through it, and it was like, oh, well, push decided to be assholes, and they deleted all the fucking shit.
Oh.
Yeah, they won't store images permanently anymore, not even if you give them money, which is...
Yeah, that's why you should never rely on like online things to store all your shit.
Yeah, I should have saved them, but I was pretty stupid, man.
Do you have any connections to a player called Bunk, by the way?
Bulk. It sounds familiar.
Because I was just looking at the assign list from the 50k WoW download, and it says, thanks for the food, Bulk/WowGain. So, yeah.
Yeah, I might have run around with him for a little while. It was fucking... I'm really terrible with names. It's like, I'll try to remember that shit, but, you know, it's...
I mean, it was, over half a decade ago, so...
Yeah.
What's your most memorable time on 2B2T?
Probably just all the times hanging out with friends and shit, really. Like especially when I was first, like, just seeing everything for the first time, and I had no idea what the fuck. I'd started scrolling through the face punch threads, but it was, like, still, everything was really new. I still fucking remember being on Skype, and, with my friend, and when we ran to the Valley of Wheat, and it was just we had never seen anybody put that much time or dedication into any build. So
you mentioned earlier that you were looking for service to grief. Have you ever griefed anything on 2?
I mean, yeah, I've done I've never done any of them like giant base griefs that would be legendary. But I've, like, if I'm moving around, if I would run into something that seemed like it'd be fun to sit down and fuck with for a little while, I'd go do a little lava cast over it and fucking drop some TNT on it, maybe.
Have you ever used any dupes?
No. I've been around some people that have duped, but I've never done any of the dupes.
And have you ever went to like any exploits, like what was it, the first back door or anything like that?
No, I remember those things. But yeah, I always feel like I'd go on break right when someone would discover something, and then I'd come back right after it got.
What were hack clients like back then? Apparently you could like fly and shit.
Yeah, I heard about some of the flying clients, but I was never going to be throwing any big money around for any of the ones that had some of the really good shit. So I would just use the basic ass combat clients that were around at the time.
Do you have any example of those? Like, what were they called?
Fuck, I'm trying to remember the name of the one. It was like everybody used, I think it started with an N, and it was like everybody used it for a little while, but then people just like tucked so much shit on it.
Notice, maybe?
Yeah, Notice, yeah. And then there was the one with the fucking hot dog.
Worse.
Yeah. I really liked Wolfram.
I remember.
I remember that.
Yeah, I like it's dumb, but I like the UI settings for it and stuff. I like it when a client actually looks. Here's that, I put that Inger album that I was talking about in the voice chat.
Oh, so I'll put a screenshot of this image. So who's Affordable Spork?
He's just a guy I met. Like, we were running around Spawn together, and he started, we were just fucking killing people. And he started DMing me asking if he'd want to try to kill the dragon. And I was like, sure, man, that fucking sounds like it'd be pretty cool to, we're on the 10th map. Might as well try to do something interesting with our time before it gets taken down. And, I mean, we were able to take it down fast enough that we had another good, 2 or 3 weeks, really, to just keep on shitting around. So after that, we would just run around Spawn and PvP.
And this was in 2016, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any strange/weird stories during your time on 2B2T?
Oh, there's I have some stories from fucking the times when I'd be walking around just hermit lifestyle with my friend, and we would always just try to get out really far, but there would always be the dumbest bullshit that would end up fucking one of us over. It was usually my friend. It was one time we were stopping in the middle of the night somewhere because the spawns were really, really bad. I decided to step away from my computer for 2 minutes to go get a drink of water, and I told him to watch for me, and he decided to dig a hole and bury me in a hole that was 10 down. And I come back and it's oh yeah, very funny, and I'm digging myself out, and suddenly he gets ambushed by a bunch of fucking mobs while I'm still digging myself out of the hole. And I could have helped him and knocked some of them off of him, but I was stuck in a hole, and he ended up getting, I fucking saw the death message in the chat that he was blown up by a fucking creeper, and it was like, you buried me in a hole, you can't get pissed at me over that.
Yeah, that's great. Have you ever had any, like, hostile encounters on the server?
See, I would always kind of just luck out with being able to generally avoid people. Like there's only been a few times that I had ever died and got sent back to spawn, and most of the time running out, I was able to avoid having to run into people and stuff. Usually my bases, like my solo ones, were always secluded enough, and because nobody knew about the cords but me, they couldn't have been leaked, that people wouldn't have run onto them by accident, even though they weren't necessarily that far out. They were just so out in the middle of nowhere, as far as, like, I'd make sure that I'd gone on for at least a good couple hours of seeing freshly generated chunks before I'd even start building anything.
Another question, like, have you ever seen Housemaster in chat when you're online?
I might have seen him online. Like, it was only ever probably during the April Fool's pranks. Like, when he would change the server over. I remember the time when he changed to the one where it was just a limited, I think it was like a 500 by 500 map. That one was pretty fun. They had a whole fucking, like, social strata thing going on where it was, like, everybody who had the good shit, because the resources just got mined up so fast because of how small the map was. It was everybody who had the good shit was living up in sky bases and stuff, and it was all the fucking peons down on the ground killing each other constantly with just their bare hands and rocks and stuff. It was like cavemen. Yeah, I remember for a while I was just up in the sky bases until probably the last couple hours of it, someone decided to punch me off the side, and I fell to the ground and died, and I was just having to run around and be a caveman for a couple. But yeah, besides April Fools, I've never really seen him be on and, like, hang out and shit.
What's your opinion on 2B2T YouTubers?
I like some of the really smaller ones. Like, there's there's the zombie streamer guy. He's pretty cool. He did, like, the really little stuff. I liked, like, the smaller things, but, I used to like Fit more years ago when he just did really small videos and shit, but it got really annoying when all this shit was going on, how, like, he was exacerbating shit for views on purpose.
Do you remember how Fit was like before the Russia?
Yeah, he was cool. Like, he had a little YouTube channel. He would do face cams, and it was like, he was just a guy in the community like anybody else. But then fucking he started making a bunch of videos right when it first started going on, and then he ended up contacting Rusher behind the scenes, and they started, like, making up fake drama and shit to fucking make it into something that a bunch of 12-year-olds would want to watch.
Yeah, for me it was believable when I first joined 2B2T. I thought it was real, but...
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it could come off as real, but then I remember there were leaks and shit that were talking about how he had a bunch of it was made up.
Like, do you have any YouTubers, like, like Salsy1, Barondome, like, do you have any, like, suggestions? Like, do you watch any 2B2T content right now, rather than Fit?
No, not really. It's like, I'll get a Fit recommended video in my, like, that'll pop up every now and then, but I won't ever really click. But besides that, other 2B2T channels and stuff, nothing else really comes to mind. Because, like, people who really wanted to start making videos, that kind of started happening, like, around the time when I started tapering off with playing. Got a rip of a video that I made sure to download because the guy who recorded it said he was going to delete it, but it was proof of something. Let me try to fucking find the video rip.
I have another question for, like, the 2B2T YouTubers. For Fit, like, have you ever watched the day that 2B2T almost died video?
I don't think so.
Well, you said Jerry 2013 said, like, the information in the video was pretty much wrong or something like that.
What was the video about?
When the server was basically dying, there was, like, about, like, 10 people on or something like that, and then, like, Rusher and Fit saved the server, right, Dig?
That was basically what it came down to.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't, like... So he said that happened back in 2013, or?
It was early 2016, up to the Russia war.
Oh, no, I mean, I much preferred fucking how it was before that. Maybe there weren't many people on or anything, but it was like, at least you could actually fucking do shit. Like, I liked having there only be like one or two fucking really annoying chatbots that would say shit constantly. Like I liked the original Bible bot, but you know, after that it's like fucking 200 really annoying chatbots that just say stupid shit all the fucking time.
Yeah, there's a lot of bots on right now.
Yeah. I know like some people's strategy was just to make a bunch of bots to fucking clog the queue, wasn't it? But yeah, asking about any of the specific videos of his that I've watched, there's like only one fit video that I ever went out of my way to watch because it just seemed interesting as a concept, was the one where the guy was using 2B2T as a thing for training bots. That one seemed interesting just because I've got some friends that like to work on similar shit, so I wanted to show it to them.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, obviously I don't know the specifics, but I'm pretty sure that was highly, like,
oh, yeah. He stretched the limits of like, fucking, of it to try to make it as salacious as possible, but just the concept seemed kind of cool, just interesting to watch. But besides that, it's like nothing else really of his jumps out at me that I'm going to go out of my way to click on.
Obviously, apart from the obvious like player count and general activity, how do you think the 2B2T community's changed from when you used to play?
Ever since like about a week ago when Really Damn DM'd me on it and I just noticed it just by chance. It was like I decided to like check out the fucking 2B2T subreddit again. It's been a while since I've hopped on, and it was like it's just been. It's the way that I'd say it's changed is like all the humors and like just people's general sensibilities of how they talk and shit. Seems like at least on the fucking subreddit, because I haven't tried to bother getting on the server. Just seems like really. It's like stupid, not in a humorous way at all. It's just stupid in this is really, really dumb. Like, yeah, it's always been stupid and immature and fucking like the lowest level of fucking humor that you could think of. But it was always like funny back then. It had like that sense of detachment to it that everything was ironic. But it's like some of the posts that I would see on the fucking subreddit were just so stupid. And like scrolling through the your guys's web link channel, hot links in the fucking, some of them are just so dumb. Like, I don't know when the general sense of humor and like way that people act turned into like the front page of Reddit.
I mean, everyone that actually plays 2B has the same opinion about the subreddit. It's kind of just populated by fit fags and people that don't play the server. It doesn't really reflect the community, but at the same time, the general sense of there's more kids that find more retarded shit funny than... Yeah, that's kind of how it...
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad that that's not, like, that I was getting genuinely, like, worried there for a little bit. That was just like, oh my god, that's it. That's really it.
There is younger kids on the server, but I think, like, the majority is still mid players.
Yeah, that's good.
I guess we can end the podcast. Let's see. Do you have any shoutouts?
If fucking anybody that I used to base with used to talk to at all is still hanging out there, hey, it's cool to see that fucking you're still alive. Like, I heard somebody mention to me on the subreddit like years ago, probably back in 2016, that E to the G had like lost his mind or something. Oh. Like I think they said something about him like getting divorced and going fucking
Bruh.
Yeah, so you know, whoever's out there that's still fucking alive and hasn't gone completely off the deep end.
I guess we can go to our last and final question.
Most important question.
Yes. What's your most favorite type of cheese?
I like a camembert.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, all right, boys. I think this is the end of the podcast. Thank you, WowGain, for, allowing us to interview you.
Yeah, of course, man. It was fun. Reliving some old-ass memories and shit. Sorry, I'm not good with, like, I can't give, like, all the specific names and stuff. I don't know why, but I'm just awful with.
Goodbye, everyone. Make sure to check out the other Anarchy podcasts in the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Nice.
Fuck my friends, they're gone. They all left one by one. And now the summer's done. They don't need no more fun. Yeah, drive around on my own. I'm rich but my AC broke. Don't check no mail, no phone. And I tell them I'm not home. And I keep to